This is day 279 of Zohar Pshat, the highly metaphorical Zohar today. It is on page Lamed Aleph, a little bit more than halfway the way down the page. Rabbi Shimon Parish, which is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, about 20 lines on the bottom. Rabbi Shimon Parish Plukta. Rabbi Shimon explained the Machlokes. It's not clear exactly what the Machlokes is here, but didn't see that in Machlokes. It's a difference of opinion, but evidently the could mean here the distinction between the right and the left. V'amar said Pasuk Krava Amar. The pasuk opens and says, "Ksiv." This is written. Lumas hamizgeres tiet tabos batim lebadim. The shulchan in the base of Mikdash, the table on which the lechem hapanim was, had a mizgeres, had a frame to it. And attached to the frame were the rings which held the sticks by which the shulchan was carried. And so opposite the frame were the rings, which are batim ladim, which the house is for the sticks, housing for the sticks. Mana mizgeres. What is this mizgeres? Do'yu asar sagir. It's a closed-up place. And that means a place very high up. Lo psicha. It's not open at all. And I don't think there's anything to do with the shulchan itself. Just using the psukim as a springboard for this idea. Bar bishvil chadaki, except for a very narrow pathway. Tisyada bignizu legabei, which is known to be hidden inside it. And its account is male v'rashim tarin. They became filled and written or engraved. Gates to light lamps. Since it's a hidden and closed up space, ikre mizgeres. So evidently, when the shefa comes from on high, it comes through a very narrow, small space. It's mostly closed up, and this is the Zohar seems to learn that it comes from beyond the tzimtzum in a way which is completely closed up, and a very small amount of ore gets through, and that's we have to use in order to light the lamps here below. That ore which comes through the mizgeres, but really most of it is closed off. It's sagur. The and that the mizgeres is the world to come. In other words, things that will be revealed in the world to come, which are not revealed in this world. Mizgeres, because right now it's closed up. And in this thing are embedded in the mizgeres are the rings. Elaine is kon Elaine. These are chains from on high. Is achon da beda, which are connected to each other. In other words, to bring down whatever shefa comes down. Maya mirucha, water, the element of the liquid, comes down mirucha from the element of wind. Virucha, and the element of wind comes from esha, comes from the element of fire. Vashimaya, and the esh evidently comes from the water on high, meaning that there's this cascade of the different elemental forces, different types of shefa, which come down. Kulis achton dabeda, all they're connected to each other. V'nafkon dabeda, come out one from each other. Bani is gone with these chains. These on the shulchan, there's only one ring on each side, but again in this metaphor there are chains which come down, ring connected to ring, which bring down whatever comes down from on high. They all look towards that frame. The bay misached lahu naro in which they unite to the river on high, the water on top. Lashkol to irrigate us down here below. Sargon Bay, and they're connected to it. Batim la badim. And these the rings serve as housing for the sticks. Inun batin. These chains are full of different houses. And then the different places where one can connect down here below, different ways to connect to the shefa above, at different levels in different ways. So they're called batim because you can find a house in them. And they're a place for the batim. Din Rusichin de Sata, which are the things which are welded on down here below. Begin the door asim and there are different ways different sticks, so to speak, which go through those holes by which you hold on to those holes. So some of them are asim the esha. Da asim esha. Then one comes to the side of fire. V'dam the mire. The other side of water. V'dam ruach on the other side of ruach. V'chein kulo. So all of them. Begin having resicha la rona, which is interesting mixed metaphor here, because they should be resicha welded to the aron. We're talking about till now the shulchan, but the idea evidently is the same. In other words, that there's a connection to the source of all shefa. So somebody who comes only to the badim and doesn't try and get to what's inside, he has used the tool to get to pneumius. We say to him, go around, you Nazir, don't come close to the vineyard. In other words, it's an interesting way of putting it. You're missing the boat. There, we tell the guy, the Nazir, stay away from the vineyard, even though it's just a vineyard. Stay away from it because it contains stuff which is forbidden for you. Here we're saying to the guy, you're not coming close enough. You're going around. You have to come closer. So evidently, we tell people, okay, you're not coming closer. You're not worthy to come closer. There are those who are suitable to come inside. They're allowed to come in and be mashamish internally. So could be I was wrong about, I'm changing what I said before, that it could be that actually we're saying that we tell people stay away. It's not we're saying you're missing the boat. We tell people stay away if they're not royal shamish internally. I would say you're not fully prepared, stay away. Okay, that's it for today.